inspiration from the collection comes from, I really felt at the beginning very strong in putting fashion down from the pedestal and more into everyday life, into the street in a way. Because also here you will show the show with daylight and not with the usual lights. Because I felt very strong about really the fact of layering. It's as if last season, for instance, the winter one, we took inspiration from interior design and it was more intimate. But this collection is as if that same woman of that one is looking outside of the window and checking and looking what's happening in the streets. So key looks, for instance, get like the parka, the combat boot, the sort of biker jackets, but always keeping in mind the background of Etro, the paisley, the decoration, the textures, the fabrics, the research. So it's like the two worlds mixing in a way. So decoration on the one hand, a more raw sort of street style mixing with it.
What we can recognize of your life or your experience in this collection?
But actually, it started a little bit of my experience I had in London. I was living in London and studying in the mid-90s. And actually also I did this final thesis. It was advertising in the image world, breaking boundaries in the image world where fashion imitates life. So it's a bit like 20 years after. It's still a bit that fashion is now also in fashion photography imitating life. It's like changing.
There is a must-have in this collection for you?
I actually love in general the sort of outerwear that is reversible. So you can play day and evening, or really find an antique embroidered kimono in a normal parka. Or the fact of layering, but not just the layering of the garment. There's a lot also in the layering of different textures. For instance, we have panel of brocades with leather in the biker jacket, and then on top we printed. Or again, the devore have been printed with florals, and then a screen of paisley devore comes on top. So there's a lot of also of layering of different craftsmanships. Thank you very much. Bye bye.